It was so sad to see that many of the responses to Dr. Menton and Dr. Purdom and myself from the secularists were just name-calling.
That sounds awful, Ken. Couldn't your invisible friend protect you from the bullies? My heart bleeds for you, which is an okay thing to say, because science showed us that the heart circulates blood, as opposed to your scientifically accurate and infallible Bible, which tells us that our brains and willpower reside in our heart. Anyway, why would people be so mean, Ken? Let me think. Is it perhaps because of you and your troop of Bibaloons spreading such reprehensible disinformation that leads to some people's fuses occasionally blowing? But wait a minute, Ken. Wasn't it you who lied through your teeth to tell a room of impressionable youngsters that Charles Darwin was a racist?
Well, Charles Darwin wrote a book, and the title of the book was this: "In the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life." You see, Charles Darwin was a racist.
Oh yes, it was. Is it okay when you do it, Ken? Charles Darwin had more moral fibre and integrity in his little finger than I've ever seen you or your Bibaloons express. The service he provided to humanity was immense, because he upheld logic and reason against blind faith. But you play the opposite game, don't you, Ken? You value the need to reinforce people's blind faith above any requirement for sustaining integrity or morality. Your warped beliefs allow you to lie, deny, deceive, quote mine, fabricate, demean and ridicule. Anything goes in your crusade to defend the utter absurdity of the biblical creation myth. And you won't stop there. You go even further. You distort the very book you profess to uphold, simply to project your own personal bigotries wrapped up as religious dogma, like your very obvious homophobia, Ken.
In the New Testament, when Jesus is asked about marriage, he says, "Haven't you read, he which made them, at the beginning made them male and female?" It's very obvious, if you start with the Bible, that marriage is a man and a woman.
You are putting words into Jesus' mouth. People like you often rise to the surface, Ken. In years gone by, you might have been burning witches, torturing Jews, destroying New World civilizations, or defending slavery, whilst boastfully quoting chapter and verse of your Bronze Age bigotry in defense of the indefensible. And it's not just homophobia, is it, Ken? You're a sexist pig as well.
In Matthew 19, when Jesus was asked about marriage, which is to do with a man and a woman, one man and one woman, he says, "Haven't you read, he which made the beginning made the male and female?" The man, setting it up now, ready for Genesis 3, when the serpent came, and did God really say, because they were instructed not to eat the fruit of the tree? Well, Adam was specifically as the head, because they were instructed not to eat the fruit of the tree. Well, Adam was specifically as the head.
And your Bibaloons are as guilty as you. They support you and routinely lie to children to indoctrinate them into believing that they are all guilty sinners. I've recently dealt with Georgia Purdom and will probably return to her in future. What about David Menton?
The last enemy that will be destroyed is death. My friends, evolution makes death natural. If death becomes natural for you, if God is the author of death, it undermines the whole of Christianity.
My conclusion is that Menton goes way beyond simple misinformation and misrepresentation. He uses every creationist trick to dupe his gullible audience into dismissing the evolutionary significance of Australopithecus. Menton is just one of the few creationist PhDs who must be an utter embarrassment to their former tutors. So do not be surprised if there is a backlash, Ken. Perhaps you and your Bibaloons need to evolve a thicker skin if you're going to continue in your ministry of misinformation. But none of this would be of any great concern to me, Ken. I could put it down to the Barnum effect and leave those too ignorant or gullible to know better to be fleeced by you and your ilk as you grow fat on their faith. But there's a darker side to all this, and that is you're preaching the lie of baby Jesus' imminent return, like your kind have been doing for the past 2,000 years. Because your message is meaningless without the second coming, isn't it? The implications of people believing in some soon-to-be final judgment must be taken seriously. There are those that believe Armageddon is required as a precursor to the rapture. And we sit here now with Israel telling us that Iran will have a nuclear weapon inside 9 months, encouraging the US to strike before then, with all the implications that might have. And a man with magic underwear vying for the most powerful office in the world. This is why I take you seriously, Ken, and this is why I am on YouTube.